Hello lovely simmers! For today's video we are finally releasing my collab part that I have been talking about for a couple of weeks now with my friend Brianna. Her channel name is BlissfullyBriana and I will link it somewhere in the description down below, but basically her collab was called the 12 Days of Simsmas and she was so sweet. She invited me to do it on Twitter. She was like, hey, would you be interested in doing this? And I have never done a collab before. My channel's still relatively new and I really wanted to, but I'm really shy and I'm really nervous and I don't like talking to people. So I was so happy that she reached out because honestly I had a whole lot of fun and she let me do pretty much whatever I wanted. She basically just asked for a theme and I told her that I prefer building. I mean, we all know that I do. And we agreed that she prefers interiors and I prefer exteriors. So it kind of just came together that I would be doing the exterior and she would be doing the interior. And of course, you know, I love my traditional suburban homes, so that is what I built. I called this the Simsmas Suburban because I do end up giving it quite a bit of Christmassy, Simsmassy decorations on it. And I tried really hard to make this build interesting because a lot of times suburban houses can just look very samey and they can have they look very boxy and, you know, not very intriguing. But it has become my goal in life to make my builds more interesting for you guys, and I do a lot of work on this house. I keep every time I think I'm done, I go back in and I add more stuff, and you'll see that throughout the video where I just keep oh, I need to put a column here and I need a roof trim here, and I just keep changing things. But I'm honestly so happy with how this house turned out. I think it's probably the cutest suburban house I've ever done, and it's also probably the most intense suburban house that I've ever done. Now I do feel bad, Brianna, I apologize. I made this house super big and then I did not give her a floor plan for it, so she had to come up with the floor plan and do the entire interior all on her own. So I do apologize about that one. I honestly wasn't even thinking about it when I uploaded it to the gallery. I was just like, oh yeah, no, exteriors, I'm doing the exterior. And then I was looking at the build, I was going back through it with my screenshots and I was like, this is a large house. I feel so bad that I built this big, but I'm really excited to see what she does with it. I've been trying to wait until her video comes out so I won't see what she does with this house until you guys see both parts as well. So I'm really excited to see what she does with it, and I know she's going to do an amazing job because I've been watching the other 12 Days of Simsmases that she has out so far and they've been really amazing, so I'm really excited. But we're going into some of the small details of the house now. I just did the color scheme and initially I was going to do a blue, but then since a dark blue, but then since this was winter themed, I didn't want to do anything too harsh. Looking back at it, I probably shouldn't have done white because it kind of blends into the snow, but I really liked how these looked. I think these are stones or tile from Fitness Pack. I think that this is the Fitness Pack, and I really liked how those looked with the paneling that I was using, and I really liked the different colors with the muted wood tones that I had planned on using from the Seasons Pack. So I didn't want to, I don't know, like I said, if looking back on it, doing this in the snow probably wasn't the best idea for this color scheme, but I think it looks really nice. And then in terms of landscaping, I use a lot of pine trees and evergreen trees, mostly because I wanted it to look good. And if in the Sims 4, in the Sims with the winter time, your trees will, obviously all your plants will die. So I wanted to make sure I was using plants that wouldn't be dead. And then this is where I start to realize the issue with building in the snow. So you can't see anything you put on the ground, so I was trying to build a driveway over here and I kept placing the path, and you'll see me do it with the path to the front door here in a minute too, but I kept trying to place paths and then I would go over too far and then I couldn't see to just take away the extra one, so I'd have to undo the whole thing and then redo it. But over here, I thought it'd be really cute if this family was just getting ready for Simsmas, so they went out and they cut down their tree. They went to a little Christmas tree farm and they cut down their tree and they brought it home in their truck, so it's sitting outside until they can get it into the door. I thought that was kind of a cute storyline. I've always wanted to go cut down my own Christmas tree. I don't know what it is because I've never actually been that into Christmas. I know that sounds really odd, but it just wasn't, I love winter. And obviously, I'm happy to see my family and stuff like that, but I never really, I don't know, enjoyed the Christmas activities. Like, I never listened to Christmas music. I would like sit down and drink when my family was decorating the Christmas tree. But recently, the past couple of years, I've been getting really into the holiday spirit and really realizing just how joyous Christmas can be. And even through those years, though, where I wasn't that interested in anything else, I always wanted to go cut down my own Christmas tree. So I really wanted to kind of portray that in this build. And back here, I'm just adding a couple of windows. And I say a couple, I covered the whole house in windows, and that was also probably a mistake because I really hope she knew that she could delete windows, because honestly, when I do exteriors, I was only thinking about how the exterior looked, and the house probably had no empty walls for her to put any paintings on. But anyway, so I've added another pine tree out here, a really big one. I definitely figured that this house, because I mean, it is rather big, so I didn't think that they were a poor family, so I was definitely thinking if it was possible in The Sims, but it's not. But in real life, they would decorate like these outside pine trees as well as like for their Christmas decorations, and like their whole house would be lit up, and like it would be the most obnoxious one on the block. Like, that was definitely what I was thinking this family would do, because I definitely think I would do that if I had a house like this. Like, I would definitely be interested in outdoing my neighbors in terms of Christmas decorations. But I built another fence just to kind of fence in the backyard. I used to never do backyard fences, and then I started to think about it, and I was like, I mean, in neighborhoods like this with how close everything is, like, your neighbors could literally just like show up in your backyard, and they do that in The Sims, which is honestly super weird. And I think that if like there was a gate in the fence, they would do that even if there was a fence, which is why I haven't been adding gates. But anyway, and it also kind of closes off the space, so it doesn't make everything look so empty. It kind of like makes everything look a little bit more homey, because you have a little bit more of a limited amount of space. But anyway, now we're going into the detail work that I talked about. So you saw me add a column on the right side of this. That was just where the tile met the siding. I wanted to kind of give it a division, and I've also added some wall trims around the house, and right now I'm adding these window pieces. I believe these are the ones from Snowy Escape. I might be wrong about that one, but I'm pretty sure I chose the ones from Snowy Escape because the ones from Seasons were just super big. And then I'm adding a couple more plants. A lot of this build is just me zooming out, taking a look at the house, and realizing what like areas need more attention, and then zooming back in and kind of fixing it. Right now, I'm trying to get rid of that white line underneath the roof here, and the way to do that is to add a wall trim around the area. So you have to put a wall or a room without any walls down, and it won't interfere with the roofing at all. So you just place a room without any walls down, and then you can put a wall trim on that wall. And then I'm just doing a little plants in the corner over here. The tree was merging into the fence though, so I did cover it up with a big bush just so you couldn't really tell that it was merging into the fence, because it looked really weird. But I really liked how that tree, I really wanted a tree back there, so I decided just to deal with it. And then going up into the front here, I am adding a couple of decorations from Seasons. I was going to do one of the fake snowmen, but they looked a little harsh against the more natural landscaping, I want to say, and the more natural look of the snow. So I did decide just to go with these reindeer. And then before I took screenshots, I did have my sim obviously put Christmas decorations from Seasons up, and then also build a snowman. I cut out the building of the snowman, but I did leave in me picking out the Christmas decorations to go in the house, so that is towards the end of this video. But right now I'm just adding in some more windows, just trying to make the house look a little less bare, and I'm about to start putting more columns in, I believe, just to kind of finish off the house itself. I added some columns up here too. It kind of just makes the house, columns make houses blend together a little bit more when you use them in this way, because sometimes corners of houses look really bland and also really kind of just boring, and then they also look a little stark contrast to everything else. So I like to sometimes add columns. Now we do have wallpapers in the game which have borders on them, but I can never get them to line up right, so I do prefer just to use the columns to do it. And I also think that that gives it a little bit more of a, we have a little bit more options in terms of color. And then over here I was trying to add another wall trim, but it kept my my wall-less room kept interfering with the room I had built up here for decoration, so I was having a little bit of an issue getting it to sit properly. So I spent a long time trying to get this to work because it kept deleting the walls of the upstairs room. And eventually I was just like, you know, it'd probably be better if every time it deleted a wall, I didn't go back to fix it. I just made sure the trim was good, and then I fixed the wall at the very end. Because I'm not always the most intelligent, I am just going to point that one out. But I do end up getting it to work in the end, and then I add some windows up here just to kind of, well, obviously to fill up the space, but also make it look a little bit more cohesive. And I don't actually add that thing there because I thought it would be a little bit much. But right now I'm putting in the Christmas decoration box for my sim to go ahead and pick out some decorations. And I was thinking about doing the icicles, but I thought that they would be a little too big, so I do end up going with these like twinkling lights. You'll see them in a minute, and I was a little disappointed because it didn't put them on all of the roofing. It didn't put them on the two at the very top, and I didn't understand why. I also add some garlands to the fences just to give those a little bit of color and pizzazz, but besides that, that is it for this video. Please go check out BlissfullyBriana's channel and leave a nice comment on her half of this video and the rest of the 12 Days of Simsmas videos. And as always, if you like this video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all next time. Bye!